How are y'all doing out there? Aaron Sampson here with
Ryan Schubert.
And if you know us, you know we like to talk about tactical shooters. There's a lot of shooters coming out this upcoming quarter. I guess the beginning of next quarter, we're looking at a Battlefield, a Call of Duty on the horizon.
Right, you get the big ones coming up.
But we like to give some time to some of the smaller titles, particularly the ones that lean a little bit more tactical, like the Armas, the Dragon Risings out there. So on that note, we had a chance to check out Insurgency Sandstorm. Insurgency was released, 2015. And Sandstorm just sort of refines that game. So it's large maps, but close quarters. Bigger maps, but still close quarters.
Like, how would you place those, like, within, like, comparison to Call of Duty and Battlefield?
You know, maybe Team Deathmatch in Battlefield would be about the size of the map. But plenty of routes through the map, which I really enjoyed. So the best way I can describe this game, though, is as if somebody took the War Tapes audio setting from Battlefield and made a game around it. Because, oh my god, does this game sound just scary and chaotic.
Loading! We're on site. Oh, now we're talking!
You remember War Tapes?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the way to go if you're wearing headphones and playing Battlefield.
It's just like the raw input of the audio without much mixing going on. So, for example, rocket-propelled grenades, they like whiz by, and all the explosions are not Hollywood explosions. They feel realistic. They have those like little sparks. And like the A-10 gun runs, that sound that an A-10, that burping sound that an A-10 makes when it comes by. And grenades, you know, it's not this like comical fiery explosion. It's that just like the throwing sparks and then things just drop.
Right.
I can't understate how good the chaotic sounds of war are in this game.
Okay, so you were saying also that there were some interesting ammo mechanics that we don't usually get in more common first-person shooters.
Yeah, and a lot of first-person shooters don't really do ammo dumping. They just sort of combine their ammo.
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't know if it fits or not into some games, but in this game, so here's how it works. When you're running out of ammo, you can tap R once, and you'll stow the ammo back on your person with however many bullets are in the magazine, only to pull that back out later and try and like, you'll default to whichever magazine has the most ammo, but suddenly, like in a game like this, and we're playing co-op here, and there's a PvP mode as well, but it really makes you stop and like try and figure out how much ammo you have on your person before entering a building. Or in an emergency, you can double tap R and drop your ammo to the ground, but you lose that ammo. And I think I only had like 5 mags or something like that, maybe even less.
And when you drop that, is it gone?
It's on the ground. I don't remember if you can pick it back up or not, but it's all of a sudden it's something you really have to think about. And it's not gimmicky. Like, I feel like ammo dumping's been used as a gimmick in some games. In this game, I ran into a building and realized I hadn't properly managed my, like, clips because of that, like, compulsive reloading thing everybody does, and just barely pulled out, not dying with a secondary, which I'll show here a little bit later.
That's really cool. I mean, I always like seeing ammo management in part of a tactical shooter because it really just heightens tension. So you were telling me that this isn't just strictly person-to-person combat, that there's also an element that involves airstrikes or a commander and an observer.
So it's class-based, and there's a commander and an observer, and if you look in the lower left corner here, those two icons are the commander and the observer, and they have to stay within a certain proximity of each other to call in an airstrike. So the observer just has to physically be present to call it in. It's really cool too because you hear them call it out in person, but you also hear it over the radio. So if you're at sort of a medium distance away from the person, you hear them call it on the radio, but then you're also on the radio. So when they're together, they can do things like call in an A-10 gun run, an Apache Hellfire strike. The Insurgents have some stuff that's been inspired by recent events. Like they can call in drones with bombs on them and like some stuff that like when you hear it, it makes you stop and look up.
Okay. So it's somewhat balanced in that respect.
Yeah, so both sides get it. There's no unlock tree in this, so it's class-based, but you have about 15 points to spend. It's kind of like the pick 10 system, the pick 15 point system. One of the big things they talked about, and you know, developers don't want to divide their community, so it's weird actually. I don't know how to feel about this. This game doesn't actually have an unlock tree. Everything's just there, and it's all class-based. And the only thing they're talking about in the future maybe that you'll unlock, and maybe they'll sell you in the future as cosmetics. I don't know, like, how do you feel about games that don't have unlock trees?
I have to say that I'm kind of over unlock trees at this point. I mean, I like unlocking things, but I also find it frustrating sometimes when, you know, like if we go all the way back to, you know, when we used to play like Battlefield 3, and it was like there's a very linear unlock pattern of attachments for every weapon. And, you know, from experience playing the game, you could usually pick up a weapon, you knew exactly what you wanted to put on it, but you also knew that you needed to get like 300 kills with it before you could use that attachment. That drove me crazy.
And it would force you to do things that were counter to the objectives. Like a lot of times what you had to do to unlock a weapon wasn't fun, or it was grindy, or it made you play dumb. Like,
oh yeah, I mean the objective-based unlocks were always obnoxious.
Because yeah, usually it would encourage you not to do like the one that always bothered me was the in Battlefield 3 you had to wound a certain number of people with an LMG without actually killing them. Like, how does that even work? You're just like, whoa, I'm not gonna kill you all the way. please don't kill me, and I can't kill you, but like
having to resist the instinct to do the right thing in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, so just to reiterate, this game does not have anything that would divide the community down the line that they're talking about now. It doesn't have an unlock tree, so you're just playing for the joy of it, and the weapons are definitely based on the classes in the game. Yeah, like, I don't know, unlock trees are addictive, but also I think there's something to be said for just enjoying a game because you enjoy it.
I mean, that's, I think, what works best about some games, like Siege, for example, where it's like, I mean, obviously there's an unlock system, but if you bought the game at a certain level, you have all of the operators, and you don't need to worry about spending time trying to get exactly everything the way you want it. You just figure it out and roll.
This game has some stiff competition with the window it's releasing in, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of the beta, which runs through August 13th. The release date for Insurgency Sandstorm is September 18th. So if you're over your Call of Duties and your Battlefields, definitely feel free to check it out. And with that, I'll leave you with a little bit of ending gameplay here so you can hear what I'm talking about.
All right, come on! Let's move!
Fuck! Throwing flash grenades! Reloading over here!
Get them! Loading! Okay, last
Wait,
mag!
wait! I'm loading!
Cover the station. You're good for car support. Tell the commander.
Ah, let me load!